All right, here we go. This is the intervention video for concept 20.2. It's all about circumference, and we have a bicycle problem. Here's what we know. Sergio has a bicycle, a wheel radius of 18 inches. The question is, how far will it travel after 9 rotations? Now remember, anytime you see circumference, you should quickly jot down the formula that circumference equals pi times the diameter. So we're going to use pi times the diameter. Diameter is equal to, just write that down here. Diameter is equal to radius times 2. So in this case, they tell you that the radius is 18 inches. So the first thing we're going to do with that information is we're going to get a diameter out of that. So if the radius is 18 inches, then the diameter is 36 inches. So then we are going to take, and this is again to get the circumference, we're going to take 3.14 because that's what they tell us to use for circumference, times 36. And we're going to rely on a calculator here. We're going to use real world tools. So we have 3.14 times 36 is equal to 113.04. That is the circumference of that wheel. And that circumference represents one rotation. One rotation. And let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that idea. So if we have the circumference, here's a wheel. Remember, circumference is the distance all the way around that wheel. So you start at a point, you start at the point that's on the ground, you go all the way around the wheel back to that point. What you have just covered is the circumference, which is how far that wheel would travel on one rotation. So then we're going to take that and we're going to multiply it by 9 because this problem deals with 9 rotations. So we're going to multiply by 9. Let's get that real world tool out here again. Still has the 113.04 in it. So we'll multiply that times 9. You can see that up on the top. And that tells us that in 9 rotations, this tire will travel 1,017.36 inches. We can leave it like that. That's an acceptable answer. But we could also make it just a little easier for somebody to understand. We can divide it by 12, and we get 84.78 feet. That would be a little more understandable. Now that's an or, so it doesn't matter which of those you use. Whichever you use, that represents 9 rotations. So there's one more problem on this page. Make sure you've tried it first before you watch the video. Don't just sit back as a passive user and watch the video. Make sure you attempt it first. Try that second problem. So here you go. First, what's the important information? Here it is. The radius is 14 inches. We're calculating for 4 rotations. So first off, if the radius is 14 inches, the diameter is 28 inches. Once again, our formula, circumference equals pi times diameter, so we need to figure the diameter. So in this case, the circumference will be 3.14 times 28. So 3.14 times 28 gives us 87.92. That is one rotation. we're going to multiply that by 4 because we actually have 4 rotations. So times 4 equals a total of 351.68 inches. That's how far it travels for 4 rotations. And this is also going to be an OR answer. Let's take that 351.68. Let's divide it by 12. And we get an answer of 20.306. So we're going to round that to 20.31 feet. Either of those is the acceptable answer for 4 rotations. All right, so take a look at this video, go back, match up any tests that you have, and then be ready to come in and take an intervention test. Remember, you can only take the test if you've completed the problems and corrected them.